So now I am officially inviting for an opening speech Chiara Pellegrini, who is also a key coordinator of ECLECTIC project, and she's from Iraq Research Institute, and also Leonardo Rosado, who is also a team member from ECLECTIC project, and he also from Chalmers University of Technology. So yes, the floor is yours.
Good morning to everyone. I hope you can see my screen. Okay, so good morning. Thank you, Lina, for the presentation. So I'm Chiara Pellegrini, Senior Researcher of Europe Research and PI of the ECLECTIC project. That is a DUT project aiming at supporting cities to develop circular economy action plans. So our main issue that we are trying to address in ECLECTIC is the fact that cities concentrate high-density socioeconomic activities. And we all know that cities consume 70% of global resources. They are responsible of producing 60 to 80% of greenhouse emissions. And they generate a lot of waste, both in terms of materials, but also in terms of resources, energy, and water. But they also offer opportunity for what is called transformative change. And circular economy model can be an effective way to address environmental impact minimization and resource efficiencies into cities. In ECLECTIC, we address these issues, supporting municipalities to design and implement strategic action plans for circular economy that can effectively contribute to achieve the climate neutrality goals that they have set, together with justice and sustainability. In particular, we focus on small and medium-sized cities. One of the key issues in ECLECTIC is to develop and to work through a quadruple helix model, which is a collaborative model that put together different types of stakeholders. In particular, we are trying to link what we are doing in research and academia together with what cities and regional governments are doing for promoting circular economy. We also work with civil society and local communities, SMEs and local industry that we all know are taking a big role in shifting to the circular economy model. In the project, we have 4 cities engaged, which are here today, which are the city of Gothenburg in Sweden, the city of Coimbra in Portugal, the city of Bolzano in Italy, and the city of Jonava in Lithuania. I leave the floor now to Leonardo Rosado.
Thank you, Chiara, for the presentation. I think you had an overview of what the ECLECTIC project is about. And now I'm going to go through a bit what we have done and what we are doing. So I think the first thing I would like to say is that we are working to quantify material flows in these 4 cities that Chiara mentioned, where we try to combine also not only the flows of the materials, but we combine it with environmental impacts. So we have an idea about what our cities causing in terms of environmental impacts. And then, of course, this is operated through the 4 living labs that we mentioned before. And the idea here is also that we, together with local stakeholders, try to understand what are the needs and the visions for circular economy in the local situation. And from there, try to identify circular economy strategies or measures, if you prefer, to really start going through transitioning this to the better sustainable cities. At the same time, we're also quite focusing a lot on households and marginalized groups in order to really try to understand how can we do this in a way that we promote also more just and inclusive cities and circular economy strategies. And finally, the idea will be to provide a set of KPIs to be able to actually monitor the development of circular economy action plans, to be able to also combine with other programs that cities might have. What we did so far, well, we have created already the city profiles, and by city profiles we mean we calculated all the material flows. We are now looking into the connection to the environmental impacts. We've done several sets of stakeholder workshops with the local authorities and organizations and companies to kind of understand and co-select circular economy strategies. We also looked into households in detail to understand what are the practices that families tend to do, and then from there also started to look into what kind of circular economy strategies can be put in place in order for us to then go and transition to a more circular economy of cities. And then finally, we also been surveying practices that are being done in local SIR labs by local institutions. So yeah, so this is a brief overview of the project, and the idea is that let's work together towards a more circular economy, and indeed bringing everyone together to really understand how can we move forward, and this is what our webinar is a lot about today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for presenting our project, Chiara and Leonardo. And now I'm going to invite another presenter. It's Sergio Caetano from Portugal, also is one of our colleagues on the ECLECTIC project, and he will tell about experience from Coimbra. Yes, we can see your screen, Sergio.
Okay, sorry, I had to unmute first.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Sergio Caetano from Coimbra Region Intermunicipal Community, one of the 3 Portuguese partners involved in DUT-funded. Today I'll share with you, after this great opening from Chiara and Leonardo, I'll show you how we are pioneering circular economy in Coimbra region, alongside with a group of stakeholders in our SIR lab. We'll take a closer look at our SIR lab journey. I'll show you some outputs of our workshops that we made so far, and the vital importance of fully engaging all the stakeholders in our mission and vision of the DUT-eclectic. Our SIR lab in Coimbra region is established as a city region living lab. It was set in partnership with the University of Coimbra and Polytechnic Institute of Coimbra, the other 2 Portuguese partners that have a crucial relevant paper in this SIR lab and project. Our SIR lab brings together 15 actors from diverse sectors, as you can see in the screen. And the main goal is that the stakeholders come together to identify the needs of our region, co-create circular economy solutions, and rethink the entire process across the entire value chain from products extraction to the waste in the final phase. This is our roadmap. It was very important in the beginning to carefully plan our SIR lab journey within the project timeline of the projects so we can ensure an effective SIR lab management. We started with a stakeholder engagement plan, very well defined, and then we started to map and identify the key stakeholders that might bring add value to our SIR lab. It's a very diverse group of stakeholders, and as you can see in the roadmap, we are more or less in the middle of the milestones that are marking our progress, and I'll speak a bit about them in the next slides. In the kickoff meeting, we made a public presentation of the projects and the first workshop. In the first workshop, our main goal was to raise awareness about circular economy. I think it was really important to start with brainstorming ideas. Everyone shared their vision about what's circular economy. I think we have maybe one definition per participant. Besides raising awareness, we try to engage stakeholders from the beginning, and the second goal was to identify together with the group the priority and needs and the critical sectors that we need to focus our attention in the following stages. The results were quite similar, with the preliminary results of the study being done in Chalmers. We spoke and then we made a World Cafe session with the whole group. It's a very good technique to foster and open dialogue, share visions, and discuss about region needs and priorities. The workshop was very productive. We had great insights, and I think the World Cafe technique was very good to break the ice in the first part, and then get great contributions and insights from all the participants. We got a table with the priority sectors, as you can see. About regional needs, I think education and awareness was the most consensual one, and it's related with the topic of this presentation. And this topic had a great relevance in our second workshop that was in May of this year. We have 15 participants from 11 institutions. In the second workshop, we started to share the preliminary results of the urban metabolism model that is being made by Chalmers and the University of Coimbra. We made a presentation of circular economy good practices, a portfolio made by the University of Coimbra. And then we had the opportunity to use another original technique, lightning decision gem, where with a time box activity, we quickly generate ideas and decisions from all the participants, and the results were quite good. We achieved the 39 total actions in this group activity, and related to education and awareness, we highlight this theme. We had 18 actions, and we established 5 priorities for our CLAB. Promote circular economy in schools through scholar programs, show the circular economy impacts through real examples or results, invest in gamification tools, create an award and circular economy prizes, demonstrate the circular economy through practical methods. I think was one of the biggest conclusions of this workshop. We got the key needs of the region, the priority sectors. So now on the second part of the CLAB, we can focus our attention in these areas. About challenges we are facing, I think it's important to share the lessons learned along the way. It's been a challenge to keep stakeholders motivated and engaged, especially between meetings that sometimes take months between one meeting from another. And I think one of the biggest challenges we will have is to find a way to transform ECLECTIC from a short-term project into a long-term program capable of moving from experimental design to practical implementation of circular solutions in our region. I think this is the timeline of our group. So we are building Coimbra Region Circular Future together, step by step, turning ideas into actions and challenges into opportunities. And thank you for your attention. We are happy to share our lessons learned and support you in your circular economy journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergio, for sharing how the collaboration between research universities and municipalities is going regarding circularity. Thank you very much for that. And now we're going to another presentation. It will be already from the other project. And it will be my pleasure to invite Carla Ray from University of Turin, who will tell and who is representing Corpus project. And Sergio, can you stop sharing the screen? Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
I can see.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Lina. Thank you for the invitation. I'm Carla Ray. I'm a researcher of the University of Turin in Computer Science Department. Our DUT project is Corpus, that means Phygital Models of Cooperation in Retrofitting of Public Spaces. The project coordinator is the University of Turin, and our partners are Open Lab Athens in Greece, Technical University of Delft in the Netherlands, Circoscrizione 4 of the city of Turin, Municipality of Aigaleo, and FPW Urban Studio in Greece. Our focus is the community reclaiming of the city through the lens of participation and circularity. Circular urban economies can help address the decline of urban spaces in city neighborhoods. So the Corpus project aims to explore new ways to regenerate public spaces by involving local stakeholders and citizens, supported by digital civic technologies. In Corpus, as you can see below, we want to study 3 different components of circular economy: the physical, the digital, and the social. Action planned include using 2 urban living labs to demonstrate the functioning of circular urban economy models. A physical one in Aigaleo in Greece for the design of a semi-permanent urban equipment through participatory processes and upcycling techniques, and the digital one in Turin, Italy, for the development of digitally enabled systems as a blockchain-based digital platform to promote circularity of materials, services, and goods. The Library of Things in Turin is a system for sharing, lending, and reusing objects. It encourages circular economy practices and helps strengthen community ties. It's driven by local groups eager to put the circular economy into action. The square and the playground around the Aigaleo social housing complex is an open green space located in a densely populated low-income neighborhood, approximately 1 kilometer from the city center, that needs to be renovated. It's a multicultural neighborhood composed of residents from Pakistan, Syria, Greece, and second-generation migrants from Albania. The park serves as the area's social hub, and the surrounding buildings house several community facilities, including many cultural associations and also a primary school. Let me present our engagement methodology, centered on ECLECTIC Living Lab. The participatory process focuses on the neighborhood's public spaces, starting at the municipality participation center. Representatives of communities, residents, students, the municipality, the researchers joined our workshops. In the first session, we introduced old maps and images of the area, showing how maps reveal history and information across eras and cultures. The second session involved a photographic walk with analog cameras around the square and the playground, helping participants sharpen their observation of meaningful elements and deficiencies in public spaces. Students, for example, discuss equipment and maintenance issues with the research team. In the final session, participants co-created a shared map highlighting areas needing maintenance or urgent intervention. These activities underscored the importance of seeing public spaces through users' eyes, valuing memory and cultural diversity, and fostering intergenerational dialogue for inclusive solution. I introduce now one of our participatory tools, the Serious Game. Developed by the Corpus team, it began with a questionnaire exploring three themes: the circularity and upcycling, the civic blockchain, and public space co-design and placemaking. The responses informed a workshop that shaped the game's narrative and rules, designed to illustrate Corpus' social, spatial, environmental, and economic impact. The board game fosters upcycling, circulation, collaboration, and participation through value exchange. Players intervene in urban spaces, collect materials, and build infrastructures for diverse stakeholders, while managing conflicting vision. Success relies on negotiation, coalition building, and strategic choices. Therefore, the game highlights how stakeholders activate dynamics when engaged in shared actions. And then, to conclude, our challenges. In the two urban living labs, our goal is to ensure the medium to long-term use of these tools. While interest is often high at the start, the real challenge is fostering autonomy so users can sustain and adapt practices over time. Resilience in both processes and tools is therefore essential to build a local circular economy culture. A second challenge is creating tools that serve diverse stakeholders. Since our project involves, as ECLECTIC, authorities, civil society, the private sector, and researchers, maintaining dialogue across different needs and expertise is critical. Therefore, the participatory processes and digital tools tested in our labs must support this ongoing exchange. Thank you for the attention, and I remain at disposal for any further questions.
Thank you very much, Carla, for your presentation. Very interesting how you use participatory methods to engage community, different actors with circularity, and also you already touched challenges we, of course, will discuss later in our interactive session. But now it's time for one more presentation. It will be done by Patrick Zapata from University of Gothenburg, and Patrick is representing Circular Grassroots Project.
Thank you. Maybe some words first about the project. The Circular Grassroots Project has a strong focus on circular economy, building from below, and that drives on not only green but also just transition. It builds upon co-production spaces between grassroots initiatives, scholars and policymakers in Amsterdam, Gothenburg, Nantes and Barcelona, but due to a shortage of time, I will only speak about Gothenburg today, but feel free to contact us if you want to know anything else about the other cities. In Gothenburg, it's colleagues Maria José Zapata Campos, Marco Adelfio, and Ulrika Holmberg, and I, Patrick Zapata. I'm a professor at the School of Public Administration. We focus on initiatives labeled as sharing economy, such as Solidarity Fridge, one of the largest food sharing networks in Sweden. Sharing food, basically, saving and sharing food. Neighborhood Association, which serves as a hub for other initiatives, such as a people kitchen, cooking food together for leftovers, composting, repairing, libraries of things, a toy library, and also a Fixotek, which is a combination of repair initiative and a library of things. In a nutshell, I would say that the project brings together circular grassroots initiatives that take place in different institutional contexts. But anyway, in Gothenburg, I would like to talk a little bit about a new form of relation that is between the city of Gothenburg and the grassroots, which is a subsidy for sharing initiatives. Grassroots, like the ones I just mentioned, they were flourishing quite a lot in Gothenburg until a few years ago. And then they met problems due to basically two major challenges: space and access to space, and governance. Governance changed due to election, new politicians, new economical models, and space is because of quite a lot of high-end urban development going on. Gothenburg is now a crane city, is holes everywhere. We're constructing a lot. And that has effects. For instance, as you can see on the lower picture, or there's an illustration of a space that were usually earlier used for these initiatives. It's now gone. It's very difficult to find space. And I talk from an interview study that I did with local politicians and local government officers, but also observations that we've been doing and documents that we've been studying. And these conversation has circled around three themes, basically: the relationship between the grassroots and the city, the value of the collaborative economy and these initiatives for the municipality, but also vice versa. What's the value of the city for the grassroots? And a third theme was place. Where should the collaborative economy be practiced? It's really good to have it, but where should it be? So from the study then, when the difficulties became apparent, like 5 years ago maybe, grassroots themselves, researchers, officers working with the grassroots, some politicians, started to give voice through debate articles, in workshops, conversations, and so forth. And in the end, decision makers realized or came to the conclusion that something has to be done, basically because they asked for it, as I said in an interview. So what they came up with was a subsidy for grassroots initiatives, for sharing economy initiatives. Not space, but money that they could pay for space for, which is interesting in itself. Of course, that money came with certain, you had to be a certain type of organization, you have to contribute to sustainable development, you have to be sharing through some definitions. You also have to have a certain level of formality, you have to have board protocols and so forth. And then it was fine-tuned during two stakeholder forums, 2021 and 2024, where they gathered like 40-50 representatives and politicians and mostly officers discussing how should the subsidy be done, how often should you apply, who could supply, and so forth. 2024 was implemented the first time, and quite surprisingly, not so many initiatives applied as one could expect. It was only 7 of them. One of the reasons was to not apply was we didn't need any money. For instance, a bike kitchen, we don't need money, we only need space. The bike we find in the streets. Food sharing doesn't really need any money, and it's also counterproductive to receive money when you're based on sharing. So for principal reasons, they didn't want to. Or it was too difficult, too much bureaucracy to apply or something like that. So of course, this is a changing thing, and what we could see also was some difficulties, and I would say that that's because of different logics. A subsidy comes with the logic of, it's like a gift with certain obligations. You have to be an association, you have to have a physical address, you have to have a budget, you have to have members between 7 and 70 years, which is difficult if you're a toy library who has kids that are below 7 years. You have to have meetings, and you don't have meetings in all these different new initiatives. So that was kind of strange for the city who is giving out subsidies for other types of associations, like for instance football clubs and so forth. They have 700 associations that they give out to, and these 7 are really weird for them. They talk about them as an odd bird, which is not really true. It's a new bird, or really an old bird. I mean, the public libraries for books also started this way 100 years ago. So if you go back to history. But there's also an administrative economic logic with rent inequality, measure report, efficiency, competition, which is also difficult for these kind of not so structured associations or initiatives. And there's also really much a managing by exception. So they focus on the ones who are sticking out instead of focusing on the other 695. Where should you have your focus? This system is evolving. It's a constant translation. Of course, it changes a little bit, and it's tuned. But I think we should ask the question then: what is it that should change? Is it the system of the initiatives, or the initiatives? Should the initiative change to be more molded into a platform of the decided by the city, or is it the subsidy system? And finally, I would just like to say that space is such an overwhelming issue in Gothenburg. This kind of blocks everything else. But of course, you could ask, if space was not such a huge issue, what should we then discuss? And I think asking the initiatives, but also the officers, maybe citizen engagement platforms. Where should we meet? How should we collaborate? And how to form networks. And I think I done my time there. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Patrick, for one more very interesting presentation about the role of space. Yes, how to enable space, to create space, to finance space, to be able to practice this collaboration. And now we have the last but not least presentation by Jessica Balest, who is from URAC and also from ECLECTIC project. Yes, Jessica, the floor is yours. We can see the slides, but do not hear you.
Yes, I'm sorry. Okay. Good morning. My name is Jessica Balesta, and I'm a researcher at URAC. I will now continue to share some insights from the ECLECTIC project, focusing on one key question. What are the social impacts of circular economy activities on people, and particularly on marginalized social groups? When we think of circular economy, we usually picture I don't know, recycling bins, composting, or waste reduction. But what if I told you that circular economy can also fight social exclusion, create new jobs, and even help people rebuilding their lives? That's what we also explore in the ECLECTIC project. Circular economy is usually seen as a way to cut waste, save resources. This is true and it matters a lot. But there is another side, one that often goes unnoticed. It's social potential. Circular practices can bring people together, create new skills, support those who are too often left behind. And for municipalities, this means that circular economy is not only an environmental strategy, but it can also be a powerful social policy. To explore this dimension, we interviewed a wide range of organizations in the 4 ECLECTIC cities: social cooperatives, NGOs, associations, small enterprises, even informal citizen groups. Our focus was on the social implication of circular economy activities, especially for marginalized groups, so people recovering from addiction, women at risk of violence, or individuals living with disabilities, among others. And we ask how can circular economy activities affect their daily lives. Let me share two stories that illustrate this social potential of circular economy. First, in Italy, in one neighborhood, residents collected used clothes in good condition and delivered them door to door. It sounds very simple as activity, but it meant that neighbors talked to each other again. What started as a waste prevention also reduced loneliness and built community trust, also involving the most vulnerable and also some marginalized individuals, such as homeless. Second, in Portugal, a cooperative trained marginalized people to collect used cooking oil. The oil was then transformed into biodiesel, and the participants gained new skills and dignity. The project reduced waste, but also opened pathways back into society and into employment. And this was interesting also because this initiative created a local network of enterprises and organizations for making this a business. These examples show that circular economy is not only about materials, it's also about people, relationships, and opportunities. And we must think that with, for example, municipal support, these small initiatives can scale and reach more people. From our research, we can group the social impacts into three main areas, among others. First, impact personal empowerment. Repairing, reusing, or upcycle objects can give people new manual and creative skills, increase their self-esteem, and even support recovery from difficult life situations. Community ties. Activities such as sharing, exchanging, or co-creating help people feel connected, reduce isolation, and build solidarity in neighborhoods, for example. Third, cultural change. By giving new life to objects, we also learn to value resources and human work. Over time, this can shift our culture away from fast fashion or disposable goods toward more caring and sustainable mindset. Anyhow, we must not forget that circular economy activities are not automatically just and inclusive. They need to be intentionally designed and organized to ensure fairness and inclusivity. Too often, in fact, the benefits go mainly to those who already have resources, so people who have the time to volunteer, or those who can afford to buy upcycle and higher quality and higher cost products. If we don't pay attention, marginalized groups risk being left out. This is precisely where municipalities and other governments could play a decisive role by designing and supporting circular activities that are open, accessible, and fair. Because with the support of municipalities, but also other local stakeholders, small projects can scale, isolated actions can become systemic change, and circularity can deliver both environmental impacts, but also social benefits for the citizens. So my final question is more dedicated to municipalities and governments, but it can be enlarged to the other participants at this webinar. As a municipality, will you act to make circularity in your city not only greener, but also more just and inclusive? So thank you very much. And in case you would like to exchange ideas, do not hesitate to reach out.
Yes, thank you very much, Jessica, for also already engaging question, yes, for our next part of the discussion. And indeed, that circular economy is not just about win-win between environment and economy, but also to look at this social side, social dimension, and social implications. So far we have 5 very nice, very interesting presentations. I can see that there are no questions in the chat, but still we could have time for, I don't know, one question. So maybe some of the participants would like to reflect or to ask any question to our presenters. Okay, maybe there are too many people, yes, but then I have a good solution, good proposal for you. Leave with us, stay with us till the end, because if there are no questions here, now we are going to have more interactive part. What will be next? A couple of words. So we are going to have 4 rooms, and what you need to do just 2 things. First of all, you will get a link in the chat, so please push the link in order to reach the Miro board. And now I will stop here for 1 minute, because I got a question, so I still would like that we would have the answer. So it will be the question for Sergio. It's about Coimbra case. And Mariana is asking, did you also involve communities, consumer inhabitants? So maybe you also can answer about this. Sergio, you are muted. Please unmute yourself.
Okay. The question is from Mariana. Okay. In our CIRLab, we try to make a diverse group of stakeholders, and we involve entities from the public sector, entities from the business sector, from research institutions. We have University of Coimbra and EPC in our consortium, but also we try to involve some entities that are closer to the communities, to the citizens, and we have, I'm not sure, but 2 or 3 institutions that are close to the citizen on the ground, on the field. And we even made one of the steps in our CIRLab, besides the workshops, is to do interviews. We already made some interviews, and 2 of them were to these institutions that are more close to the citizens. For example, one that is working directly with people with capabilities. I'm missing the word in English, but to see how they are already implementing some circular ideas and projects to exchange waste, to exchange clothes, for example. And it's curious to see that even small institutions already have some measures of circular economy on the way. So yes, we try to involve a diverse group, a heterogeneous group of stakeholders, and also communities have a big role in our CIRLab in Coimbra region.
Yes, thank you very much, Sergio. I know that we already are 1 minute over time, but still maybe I would like a very, very brief answers from Carla, from Patrick, maybe just 1-2 sentences regarding that second part of the question. Okay, so maybe some are harder groups to involve for you from your experience. Just if you may, very, very briefly, and then we'll go to the discussions interactive.
Thank you. We have the same kind of groups as the ECLECTIC project involved in our labs. So we had different generational groups, young people, residents there, migrants. We had the municipality, and then association from the third sector, and some representative of the public sector. Trying to answer the question, who was harder to include? Well, you need need to include everyone. So there isn't an hard one or an easy one. You have to find the methodology and the way where everyone can feel attracted to take part of the discussion, to include them. And one of our methodological approach was to start from the ground, from the location where you have to work on, and trying to find all the stakeholders that you need to include, so to leave no one behind.
Okay, thank you, Carla. So, Patrick, any short comment?
Maybe not only who to include, but also how to include. So, I think it's quite important when you could produce something that is actually production going on, that you do it together, not only informing or just, how is the relation is maybe more just as important as with whom.
That's a really good point. Thank you. I do believe that there could be more fruitful discussion, but now it's time to go to our breakout rooms. We will have 3 breakout rooms. So from you participants, it's just important to go to this link Mural. Yes, it's one thing. It's already in the chat, and also now you will get an invitation to a particular room. So please push the button, and then you will be in the closer smaller rooms for discussion. So yes, so now you are going, everybody of us are going invitation. So please just push the button to join.